4 years and 2 months ago, I started my high-level free trial. And since then, I've grown a business and a lifestyle that I never could have dreamed of. Pretty much all thank you to this amazing software. And I know that sounds like a big statement, but I know plenty of other people that would agree with me that the businesses they have built, sold, and the lifestyle that it has afforded would not have been possible without high-level. So what I want to do today is kind of walk through my journey and talk about the 9 features that changed my life the most as I learned about them and implemented them. These will start out somewhat basic and then get more advanced as we go. So number 1 is the conversations dashboard. I remember my very first SMMA client, which was my family business. Once we started getting a ton of leads in through Facebook ads, the office staff literally couldn't handle it. And so back in the day before high-level, we implemented a software, I think it was called the ClickSend, which would just send a single text to every single lead as they came through, just to nurture them and kind of establish that first conversation. But when I found high-level, I was like, wow, not only can we send text, but we also have Instagram, Facebook, email, and web chat messages all coming through into this one spot, which is insanely useful for any business that's trying to convert people. And as I started to use this conversations dashboard more and more, I found other features that I loved, like being able to warm or blind transfer phone calls and keep the recording from that transferred phone call all inside of high-level. And given that I had built a call center using high-level, it was so useful that I could just have my callers call our clients. They could transfer those conversations over to them. And then if the client's front desk team ended up dropping the ball, we could point to those recordings and say, hey, this is what happened. And I know a lot of people that run this model very successfully today. Check out this podcast if you want to learn more about that. And I could go on and on about the conversations dashboard, but I'll just mention 2 other things that I really love. Number 1 is the thing on the right-hand side of the conversation. When you click into the individual contact, you can see all sorts of data about what pages on your websites they've visited, what forms they've submitted, what they're interested in. And that's all next to the conversation that you're having with them. So you just have this leg up in the conversation where you know a little bit more about what's going on in this person's head. And then what I also really love is that you can manually add people to workflows or offers or courses or communities all from that spot. I know we're in the age of automation and AI bots and all of that, but sometimes manual stuff just needs to happen, and it's great that it's all in one spot there. Okay, moving on. So as I was building this call center, my agency was around $30,000 a month at that point. I purchased a course from my now friend Rob Bailey that came with some pre-built text campaigns that they had built for gyms and were very successful with there. And this was my first introduction to what is now the workflow builder. Back then it was split between campaigns and triggers, which was a little bit confusing. And then when they combined them, it was just like, okay, this is game over. This thing can do almost anything I needed to. And this one changed my life because I saw how complex you could make the logic on the development side of the workflow and the automation to make your life so much easier on the back end. You don't want to send certain texts on weekends, no problem. You want to automate something based on somebody's birthday, you got it. You want to send appointment reminders, and then after the appointment happens, a message to your client where they can click a button saying this person showed or no showed, and that triggers another workflow which moves the contact through the pipeline and updates the dashboard to have accurate stats. And the deeper and deeper you get into workflows, the better and better your life becomes. Even something as simple as automating a Slack message every time somebody buys something, that's changed my life. I love those notifications. It gives me a better pulse on what's going on in my business without having to check it, and my team gets to celebrate along with me as we sell more products. Now this leads me to number 3, which is probably the one that changed my life the most, although you may laugh at that. After I'd been using high-level for like a year and a half, I paid for a consulting session by a guy named David Thompson, who runs a chiropractic agency with like 70 to 100 clients. And he broke down his entire system of how he uses high-level, what workflows they have, what messages they send, what ads they use, all of that. But the thing that struck me the most, and the feature that I just hadn't been using at all in high-level up to that point, was pipelines. He had this big pipeline with every single stage of what could happen to a potential patient for a chiropractic office. He had opt-in, he had hot lead, he had, we called this person once, called twice, called 3 times, showed, closed, no show, long-term nurture, whatever the client needed, he had created inside of pipelines. And it was the first time this idea clicked where I was like, oh, this is how I need to be running the sales in my agency. And this is how I need to be teaching my clients that they can see no lead left behind. Everyone that comes through is sorted into their proper spot. And every time we or they log into the software, ideally, if everything is updated correctly, we know exactly what the state of our business is. That honestly changed my life. It just taught me how to think about business in the right way. Now, number 4 is a close runner-up in terms of how much it changed my life because of how much time this saves everyone that uses it. And that is snapshots. If you don't know already, snapshots allow you to take all of the settings within one sub account in high-level and duplicate them over to a brand brand new account. And there's more that I'll go into in a minute, but the main value proposition here is, okay, my agency's at $30,000 a month. Let's say I have 15 clients that all kind of do the same thing. Let me take the account that's the most kind of stock standard, 80 to 90 to 95% of the way there, and I will model all of that and put it into a sandbox account, and that becomes my snapshot account. So every single new client that I bring on board, I'm going to be able to just hit load snapshot, and it's going to have all the workflows, all the funnels, all the email marketing templates, all the goodies that took me hours and hours and hours to get ready, done. In 30 seconds, it's loaded into the account. But as I mentioned, it gets even more powerful in that if I start my agency with HighLevel the right way and I build that sandbox account before I have 15 clients in HighLevel, and every single client that I bring on board has come from that original account, I can make updates in that original account. Like let's say, oh, I just need to tweak the language on this one workflow because we want to update the copy, or this one funnel, or whatever it is. And I can hit push to linked accounts, and that will push across every single sub account that I created from that original sandbox account. And they recently pushed a brand new update where you can enable IP protection on your snapshots, so that if you're giving all of this to your clients, they can't just take everything that you've built and take it over to their own account. If it's something that you like to protect, you can just enable IP protection, and nobody's able to easily and quickly steal everything in your snapshot. And snapshots, as well as the next feature that changed my life, really give you the idea of how much HighLevel is focused on serving agencies. And that's why they're outclassing competitors 10 to 1, because they're really focused on what the agency actually wants and what they need to be the most productive. And that's why number 5 is simply the fact that all of the features are in one spot in HighLevel. Back in the day when I started my agency, I was navigating from Facebook Ads Manager to Google Sheets to ClickSend to Zapier to ManyChat, and I was plugging all of these softwares together. And just the fact of logging in and out or having multiple tabs up on your browser makes you less effective than if you're able to do that all in one spot. And that's why it's really laughable that for $97 a month, you can have 99% of the features of the CRM of HighLevel, because that replaces probably $2,000 of other software costs, and they're just continuing to build more and more into that. And this brings me to the next feature, which is that HighLevel allows unlimited sub accounts and allows you to resell them as a SaaS. Now today we see so many SaaSpreneurs, people making 100, 200, 300 users almost every single day with their SaaS. But at the beginning, most of the agency owners didn't really catch on to that. They were just excited that every time they got a new client, they didn't have to pay extra for another whatever account. They could just literally hit the add new sub account button and duplicate that. Now add the ability to do SaaS, and somebody put it this way recently in the Facebook group, which I love. You have the empowerment of being big while staying small. You can make your business as big or as little as you want it to be. You could be $2,000, $3,000 a month and still be insanely profitable with just a few clients and have a nice side hustle that brings in some extra income. Or you could grow like some of the top SaaS businesses, 4,000 plus sub accounts, and really go a real business on this without paying hundreds of thousands of dollars to developers. And just to add another thought to this, the way my friend Ryan O'Connor puts this is, how are you going to take advantage of the economic opportunity that HighLevel affords you? For $497 a month, you can have unlimited users, unlimited contacts, unlimited sub accounts. Literally, this is unheard of. It's unprecedented. And how are you going to leverage that economic opportunity to go out and make your mark with HighLevel? All right, that brings me to number 7. And this one's a small one, but it is a mighty one. And that is custom values. If you have not seen the power of these, please watch the next minute of this video, because it blew my mind when I first learned about it. And custom values are just that. They're custom pieces of information that can live anywhere inside of a sub account. So small example, let's say I'm running ads for an orthodontist, and orthodontist A is running ads for 500 off braces, but orthodontist B is running it for 600 off braces. When I bring on orthodontist B, instead of having to go through and find every single text, email, funnel, website, form, anything that says the word 500 from my previous snapshot, or maybe just a duplicated sub account, I can go in and hit settings, custom values, and just swap the 5 for a 6, and that is updated everywhere across the sub account. Another small example of how this works, this is technically a custom field, not a custom value, but the one that I really like is right now year. And if you put this at the bottom of your website, you don't have to remember on January 1st of every year to go in and swap your copyright from 2024 to 2025, let's say. You just have to have that little custom field sitting in the bottom of your website, and at midnight on January 1st, it will switch to the next year, which is so useful. If you learn how to use these properly, they will literally save you, I am convinced, days of time every year going through and customizing things. Yes, it's more work up front, but if you can put that work in, if you're selling snapshots or you're delivering snapshots to your clients or whatever it is, and all they have to go in and do is fill in 5 to 10 custom values and their snapshot is ready to rock and roll, that is so much more valuable than a snapshot where you have to comb through every single message and swap out the language in little parts. All right, that brings me to number 8, which is the fact that HighLevel is very open in terms of what it allows you to add on top of it. So you can add whatever third-party tools you want to buy or plug into HighLevel. There's a way to do it. And some people call this middleware. Literally, if you can dream it up, someone has probably already built it, or you can build it yourself. So 2 really useful examples right now. My software, Streamline, we use UpHex for helping people launch ads in a simplified user interface with proven templates from inside of my white label HighLevel. And once those ads are actually generating them leads, those leads get followed up with, that's from a third-party tool called CloseBot. I love the fact that because HighLevel's features in terms of launching ads directly and AI bots just aren't quite up to speed with what the best of the best is using, I can just pull in those tools, add them to HighLevel, and instantly provide so much more value to my customers. And I have seen some tech guys and developers build some super impressive stuff on top of HighLevel, custom tracking software so that all of your information for every sub account is in one spot, a secret shopper tool that automatically submits fake leads and sees if your clients are calling them back at the right time, chat and support widgets to help walk people through how to use the software, and access a support library that can be spun up in minutes for your software. Part of what makes HighLevel so amazing is that the community has rallied around it and is willing to build amazing things to plug into it so that other people can benefit from that as well. And that brings me to my last point, which isn't really a feature, but I highly recommend for everybody here. And that is the HighLevel Facebook group and the HighLevel events. Man, that Facebook group is solid gold. If you don't know how to use it, I will explain it now. If you have a question about a certain topic, about if one software integrates with HighLevel, if you can do something a certain way, or you're stuck, instead of reaching out to support, 99 times out of 100, what I can do is go to the Facebook group and type in a simple keyword into the search bar, and I find someone who already had this problem, already asked about it in the Facebook group, and 10 people that helped them answer the question. And if for some reason it's not there in the answers, I can actually just hit message and say, hey, did you end up solving this? What happened? And again, 99 times out of 100, it ends up being more effective and faster than reaching out to support. Worst case scenario, if I can't find anything with the search function, I just post it myself, and I usually get help within 5 to 10 minutes. But along with that, guys, is the live events. I'm not sponsored. I do not get any affiliate commission for telling you to go to these events, but I have to say they are absolutely amazing. Both the small masterminds they put on, I think they're limited to like 100 people a few times a year, literally changed my life when I went the first time. I got to talk directly to the founders. I understood so much more the vision of what a SaaS company built on HighLevel can do. And then the massive event that they put on every year in October, it's just so well thought out. They have this full-time girl that runs everything, organizes all the vendors, and makes sure that it's absolutely incredible. And boy, oh boy, is it incredible. The people I've met, the friends I've made, and the things that I've learned from the really high quality speakers at those events, again, have changed my life. So I highly recommend that you put the money and the time into attending these events as soon as you can. All right, guys, that's it for this video. If you'd like to see the video where I listed every single feature inside of HighLevel, you can check out this one. And let me know below what feature changed your life or what I missed in this video. Would love to hear. Take care.